Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. Let me check my little settings here to make sure that you can hear me and everything. All right, everything's working. So once again, welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Tuesday. It is May 2nd. It is 1:55 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. Let's rock through and see what's going on in the market. You may have noticed that it's been a bit volatile in the traditional markets for sure. First Republic Bank getting bought out by JP Morgan definitely has not made the markets stable. A lot of uncertainty there. Many don't like the way that was done. It's almost as if it was planned before it happened. And also, as far as regulations working, like to not have monopolies and things like that, well, all out the window when you got to bail out a bank, I guess. And so we'll see how that pans out. But one way or the other, First Republic, it does appear that the depositors are safe. I'm not sure about the people who held stock in that bank necessarily at this point, but it's not going to go under. All the branches that are closed now, if they are closed, I'm not even sure. I think they're basically going to they're going to go from First Republic Bank, then they'll have a JP Morgan sign put on them. We'll see if all those branch offices stay open. There's a good number of them here in the U.S. So anyway, First Republic getting bought out very, very seamlessly by JP Morgan. And if you actually look at the steps that took place, JP Morgan, I believe, made bank off doing that. And, well, basically, regulations for y'all and me, but for the banks, allegedly, no. And, it's kind of funny where when we're broke, when we run out of money, well, it's not a good thing, right? That's just kind of the reality of the situation. But I guess when banks do, well, they make more money. So there you go. Anyway, BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there. Look at the crypto universe in squares today. In general, it was not red this morning, but it's beginning to turn lightly green. Bitcoin up 3%, 3.2% last 24 hours, coming in at 28,723. Most of those 3% are since this morning. Anyway, crypto universe in squares, fairly green today. Let's rock along and see what all this means. I'm going to refresh this real quick here. Let's look at Bitcoin trading volume explicitly. That's 24 hours, down 6% or so, coming in at 3.7 billion. That's 24 hours. That is definitely not a lot of confidence. That's very, very low volume for a Tuesday. I'm going to refresh this also. So last hour, 500,000 wrecked. Liquidations basically for Bitcoin. That's not many. That's a good number. Last 24 hours, how many wrecked? 49 million. That's super low. Kind of a nice sweet spot. So basically, people are not trying to long or short with leverage Bitcoin too aggressively. Although some people definitely did get wiped. We'll take a look at that. But I think the uncertainty in the market has the high leverage longers and shorters just kind of being a little bit careful. This morning, the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all opened dismally, just dumped. They all regained a little bit throughout the course of the day, but all of them looking here at FinViz, we can all see they pretty much all did close under just over 1% in the red. So that's definitely just epic market dump. I mean, for crypto, for a shitcoin, 1% either way kind of means nothing. But for the Dow and the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, a percent move in the course of a day is a pretty darn big deal. Now looking at the 15-minute chart here for Bitcoin, I'm not sure if this spike is real or not, but that happened today. That definitely, you see a lot of buy and sell volume came in, so it does look like maybe we had a wick that definitely would have devastated shorts beyond comprehension. So Bitcoin definitely, the thing about it is today, Bitcoin in general had a green day, a pretty green day. S&P 500 overall did not. So interesting, Bitcoin's up like 3%. S&P 500 is down 1%. So definitely, are we seeing a decoupling here? Could be quite interesting. Especially, I'm very happy to see crypto market, in the crypto market in squares today. Basically, looking at that it's mostly in green. That's pretty phenomenal. Even if it's not a lot of strong green, still it's in the green, and that's pretty darn awesome when you look at what happened to the traditional markets today, which were just kind of like not too pretty. So looking at KuCoin market cap here, looking at the trading volume for all spot. In general, it's a mix of green and red today. So top 20 exchanges, mix of green and red as far as positive or negative volume last 24 hours. Looking at derivatives, we're coming in at 36, well, basically 37 billion. if we round that up on Binance where the big volume is. So definitely longs and shorts with leverage are not too massive right now. Looking at the Bitcoin in the top 100, Bitcoin, of course, 28,723. Top 100 just starting to come out of neutrality towards the green. I like that. Stacks, you can see this over at the Crypto Universe and Squares also. STX, which I always think is cool because it reminds me of Styx, that band out of the 80s. Also, that they were kind of cool. Anyway, so Stacks, Stokes, up 12%, pretty badass. It's a legit product. I like it. Rocket Pool, don't know anything about it, but RPL is definitely a player when the market has volatility, and it's up 5.6%. Decentralized, Mana up 2%. I like seeing that. Peppy, talk about the meme coin. I mean, oh my gosh. Anyway, it's up like 50% yesterday, I think, and today it's up 24%. Earlier this morning, I actually dumped a bunch of Tether into that, and I'm up. Hey, I don't care. I will make money off anything which is not completely immoral. So until there's unless there's ever like a crypto based on like, the value of landmines or something, I wouldn't quite get into that one. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with my Pepe gains. Will they last? We'll take a look at it before we check out of here. But in general, top 100 beginning to look good. I like the Terra Luna Classic. Lun C is up 2.3%. So really, with the traditional market not doing so hot, crypto market is doing pretty darn awesome. I'll take it. A Green Day. I mean, while the shithouse burns, like Jim Morrison said, I'm going to have my kicks before the whole shithouse burns down or something like that. So while the traditional market shithouse burns down and the banks, it kind of appears, the regional banks at least, definitely I'm going to have my fun making money off Pepe. One thing about regional banks I will mention, I looked at a lot of articles today. There was so much news. It does seem like regional banks and smaller banks are going to be a scary place to keep money. And that does seem to be the plan if you're a conspiratorial type like me, or more like if you want to just call it conspiracy theories, just call them empirical research, which seems to work for hard science, but yet not. But if you do it for anything other than like, an approved topic, it suddenly becomes a conspiracy theory. So anyway, careful out there if you're in a small bank or a regional bank, because I think that I think the powers that be have decided that we're going to have like the big five, the big three, the big six, whatever. And so anyway, make sure your money's safe, not financial advice, but if you got money sitting in a bank, just ponder for a moment, maybe spread that out a little bit. Anyhow, Binance coming in longs versus shorts. The sentiment right now is 57% long, 42% short for Bitcoin on Binance. So definitely a slight long bias. Looking at Bitcoin here, this is a 45-minute chart. The white moving average here is the 45 moving average, 45-minute moving average. Down here you have the squeeze indicator. So we've had a nice move up today. I like what I'm seeing. Squeeze indicators in the green. It's beginning to trail off. So definitely, Bitcoin definitely didn't quite do something as violent as like a true BART pattern today. That's good. But in general, I'm just going to leave it at that. Bitcoin is, making a comeback. We'll see. Squeeze indicators beginning to trail off a little bit. How about news here? What do I see here on my little news button? Bonk. Well, it's not pulling up, or it's slow. Anyway. I know what it is. Bonk. Maybe I need to use the right thing. Bonk. There we go. Headlines for Bitcoin. Check out this shocking Pepe coin versus Bitcoin comparison. I'm sure it's just killing it. U.S. banking crisis worsens with half of America's banks on the verge of failure. I'm not sure if that's true, but hey, well, anyway, let's just say enough are to create a lack of confidence in the market. Coinbase I can never say that darn word. Coinbase, a new thing. Offshore exchange with Bitcoin and Ethereum perpetual futures amid regulatory challenges in the U.S. Well, I tell you what, Coinbase, if you're playing that game, that's the same thing that Bittrex did, and they got nailed big time. So make sure you have your ducks in a row before you try to offshore if you're a U.S. exchange, because they're coming for you if you do, because you're challenging the powers that be and their supremacy, and they don't like it, Anyway, with that said, a big deal here for Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart that I am seeing here is that we are seeing a challenge of the 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart. I like what I'm seeing. That's really hot. On the 4-hour chart, you can see the squeeze indicator here is beginning to turn towards the positive. So 4-hour chart looking good. Watch for 200 moving average cross on the 4-hour chart. If we can cross that above, come back, test to find support, and continue moving up, that's going to be a groovy day. I like what I'm seeing. How about a daily chart for Bitcoin? Daily chart, What's nice to see is that it is still above the 200 moving average. I like that. And the squeeze indicator, although it's somewhat lumpy, kind of crazy in general, I do think it's moving towards the positive. So Bitcoin looking good enough. For fun, let's look at Peppy coin versus USDT on, I myself am playing it on Gate.io. And it's just insane. I mean, that's a daily chart. Let's look at let's do an hourly chart. I actually did note this morning over at the blockchain education group and over at the Bitcoin Daily View Telegram chat. We do have this beautiful upwards trend here for Pepe. This is an hourly chart against USDT. It visited the bottom of the channel. It's moved up since then. Squeeze indicators a little bit all over the place, but it definitely, I think, are we going to continue an upwards trend? It's a pretty groovy looking possibility. Let's look at a 45-minute chart. 45-minute chart, the squeeze indicators returning towards the positive. Let's see, maybe we're going to visit the bottom of this channel again. But Pepe versus USDT is really doing pretty darn groovy. I like what I'm seeing, a nice strong upwards channel. I'll take it. How about Pepe versus BTC? Where can you play that? Oh, on Uniswap, Pancake. Nah, forget that. I don't roll at that level of obscure shit coinage. So anyway, I'll leave it at that. Let's just keep on moving. We'll get out of here quick. Just wanted to remind you in this time of craziness and uncertainty that if you can see this graphic here, if you're listening, look at the video real quickly. Yeah, Fox News, CNN, NBC, Deep State, all the same thing. Who are they aiming those old K98 Mausers at with their fancy little berets there? The truth, you know what I'm saying? And just remember, they're all lying to you. And remember, guys, I know Tucker Carlson's very popular right now, but he read a prompter like all the rest do. He's not actually an individual, All right, Taiwan leader provokes China by meeting with Uber hawk John Bolton. This is nuts and just really, really gets me. If you are the politically minded person, you like writing your congressperson, your person in the Senate, definitely it's a good time to do so. Send that little email or something and say, look, please convince our administration to stop jacking around. John Bolton is a nasty bastard. He's a war hawk. I mean, look at the images people make of him as far as memes. He doesn't even play around. He won't tell you that he's not a neocon. He won't tell. Oh my gosh, he makes John McCain, the late John McCain, basically look like a dove. I mean, this guy is nuts. So anyway, here's a good meme of him right here. I think. Do I got it? Yeah, look at that. It's war stash. Anyway, I guess he's not officially a part of the U.S. government right now. He doesn't actually play a role right now. I think. A former American National Security Advisor. He was a security advisor under Trump, and I always wondered about that. I'm like, Trump, whether you liked him or not, one of his errors was he surrounded himself with just the worst garbage. And anyway, man loves war, doesn't play around. On his own volition, he went and visited with the, during his meeting with Tsai, claimed, Taiwan was the front line in fighting for democracy, and as such, Taipei needs stronger ties with like-minded nations. Anyway, guys, they won't give up. I don't know what the push for World War III is right now, but I mean, I don't get it. Anyway, if you like writing your congressperson, your person in the Senate, congressperson or person in the Senate, senator, congressperson, all of them, whatever, it's a good time to do that and say, for the love of God, get this frigging monster out of Ukraine. And not to mention, I'm sorry, Ukraine, a little slip there. Ukraine, Taiwan. Tell them to keep this monster. And all the other dumbasses, like I think somebody from Texas state government just went over to Taiwan to see if they could maybe get some nukes flying. I really do like the idea of JFK. Here's one. I mean, bear with me here. But on 2024, the ticket I would like is Trump, Kennedy. Okay, here's the deal. Everyone should be happy. I think it'd be nice to get some Kennedy action back because you know what? Kennedy believed in not taxing us to death. Setting beautiful high goals for the nation that going to the moon, the Apollo missions. Now we have SpaceX. What happened to our missions? What happened to our space shuttle, the Apollo missions? I mean, so anyway, Kennedy, this guy's uncle, his dad, both taken out by we know who, and he knows who. So Kennedy can't speak very well, but you know what? That is fine. The vice president is not supposed to outshine the president, and so Trump can take care of all the bombastic nonsense. And then Kennedy maybe could be a very active vice president. And like I say, don't tax us to death. Set lofty ideals that are great for America to try to aspire to. And you know what? Avoid having a nuclear war with Russia over stupid shit like this monster was just sent to do by the evil that is trying to make it happen. So with that said, I love the smell of Rex shorts in the morning. Smells like victory, and we got some today. So anyway, take care, everybody. Remember, Bitcoin, I'm glad you are here. Bitcoin, I'm glad you're here. Also, I'm glad you're here, Bitcoin Truth Seekers, because truly, in a crazy world right now where monsters like this are trying to kill us all, truly wrecked shorts are a beautiful thing, and so is hope for the future. And I do believe that every Bitcoin Truth Seeker who owns even one Bitcoin Satoshi, every single Bitcoin Satoshi is a vote for the kind of vision that maybe a Trump Kennedy ticket would offer. I want to go back to Mars and the moon and things like that. I want to do cool things. I want to have great visions for this nation, rather than all the ugliness that how we're divided right now. So anyway, Trump, Kennedy, 2024, let's go to the moon again. Let's go to Mars. Let's go beyond. Let's not do a centralized digital currency. Let's actually do something great again. Take care. Keep stacking those sats, because I think that if we have a beautiful future, which I think we do, Bitcoin is part of it. And us optimists who every day stack some new sats in our trading, or at least try to, we believe in that. And fortune favors the bold Bitcoin Truth Seekers. Take care.